So today's lesson, it's all about the IELTS writing criteria. We're basically going to focus on task 2, but I'll also put in some details for task 1. I'm still struggling with my mouse here. Forgive me for that. There we go. I think that now I've got it. Okay, yeah, the emojis are great. I love them. So today we're going to look at important features of the new task 2 writing descriptors. We're also going to analyze an essay prompt, and we're going to compare medium scoring and a high scoring essay. So hopefully by the end of the class, the high scoring essay will be predominant. And of course, questions at any moment. If you send in your question and I miss it in the chat box, forgive me, send it back in. Sometimes the chat box rolls really quickly and I just can't manage to read all the questions that come in, but I will get to your question for sure. Okay, so here we go. Prab, it's great to have you here. You see some students, just by seeing your names in the screen, I recognize because you participate in all the live classes. So here we go. The full IELTS writing criteria. In the past, before, now, of course, only there was a list of criteria available for us, for test takers and teachers, that was limited. Now the full scale is available. So in the past, some elements were reserved and only the assessors and examiners could see, but now it's all open, which I love it. I think that it's going to be very useful and helpful for test takers to be better prepared. And of course, we can definitely help you because the band descriptors are, public, we know the criteria. And also, you student, you can go through it, even though sometimes the language may be a little bit unfamiliar, but still, I highly recommend that you read the band descriptors for sure. So until recently, you students, you did not have the full band descriptors. Nora, it's great to have you here. First timer. Okay, I love first timers too. Old comers and newcomers. It's great to have you here. Now, there are 4 criteria that you will be scored. Each one is 25%, and it adds up to the 100%. So let's suppose your weakness is in grammar. So you're working, you're studying, you're doing your best, but you do well in task response. So task response is an excellent option for you to boost your scores. That once you learn all the elements and the content that you have to include, you can boost your task response and kind of like give yourself, you have a little bit of flexibility in the other criterion. So if you, as I said, I encourage you all to read the band descriptors. At the end of the class, I can share the link as well. But the bold text, so the texts in bold, they indicate the negative features. So as you're reading, observe the bold, all the comments in bold, because that's a no-no. So for example, for band 5, for the task response, the main prompt is incomplete. That's why taking a few seconds to read carefully and analyze the prompt, it isn't a waste of time. Many students, they feel that they're pressured with the 40 minutes and they want to start writing right away. That is not the best option, because if you do so and you don't take the time to analyze the prompt and break it down to be sure that you have identified all the parts that you have to cover, just by missing out in this particular, missing out in analyzing and breaking it down, you can lose scores. So that would be a shame, but it's not going to happen to you because now you know that. So that's one of the first secrets that I'm going to share with you guys. Be sure to take the time to read and analyze the prompt. It's not a waste of time. It's a gain of time. Yes, zeal. So task 1 and task 2, they are marked differently. Task 1 is 1/3 of your score and task 2 is 2/3 of your score. You got that. Okay, excellent. Now, for band 5, the task response is incomplete. and also coherence and cohesion. So, for instance, paragraphing. That's a very important element. Be sure that you separate your paragraphs: introduction, body 1, body 2, and conclusion. Even skip a line, okay? So this is an example of a great essay, but unfortunately, it will be a band 5. It's well written. There's a lot of, connectors, well used, passive, active sentences, but there's no paragraphing. So that's it. You're unfortunately in coherence and cohesion, you will be down to 5. And if you get 5 in cohesion and coherence, it's hard to level that out. You would need 8, 8, 8. So, and it's not hard to get it done, right? So we're going to be, all of the analysis that today will be done using the new criteria, the new writing criteria. Oh, yes, I love this. So May Madness, we have a promo going on, and I love the combination of words. I don't know, it's unexpected, May Madness, but it works. So for you guys that you'd like to upgrade your package, or have access to more material, this is the time to do so. And you get assessments, writing assessments. For those of you who have already used the assessments, you know how valuable they are, because when you send in your writings, and in particular writing, speaking too, but writing, the teacher, when we correct your writings, we analyze carefully, we detail your weaknesses, we suggest additional material. So when you receive your your correction, take the time to really analyze carefully, because that can really help you change your scores by identifying your weaknesses. It's pinpointed. You can work on your weaknesses, and then that will lead to better scores. Oh, in reading, Savan, I would love to, but right after this class, there's a reading class, so you could join us then. Okay, so for you guys who would like to upgrade your package or sign up, suddenly your Express, Charlie has just put in the chat box. Check that out. So it's a great opportunity for sure. As I said, assessments are very valuable, and the course materials, of course. We're going to look into that in just a few minutes. Okay, this is the essay question that we're going to work with. And now you guys are going to work with me. Okay, Hannon, it's great to have you here. Yes. Can't get enough of learning. That's it. Learning is one of the best feelings. Everything that we learn belongs to us, right? So I'm going to ask you, let's suppose in this question, due to advancements in technology, many companies now offer employees the option to do their jobs from home. Do you think this is a positive or negative development? Let's break it down. What are the key words that we're going to focus on in this question? Chat box is here. Send that in. I love to see a nice active chat box. So what are the key words that we're going to focus on here? Okay, advancements. In fact, it's advancements in technology. Companies. So we're going to focus on here. So the real question says, do you think this is a positive or negative development? What is this? What this? So this means the fact that companies offer employees to work from home. But why do they offer exactly advancements in technology? So take the time to break it down. So the big idea here is due to advancements in technology. So if it weren't for the advancements in technology, this would not happen. Companies and employees would not be able to work from home. So in order for you to cover this question fully, you need to deal with the advancements in technology, the companies offering employees the opportunity to work from home or from anywhere, in fact, right? And then positive or negative. So when we see the word positive or negative, the or, what does the or tell us here? to choose one. Excellent. We have to choose one, either positive or negative. Lovely. So let's move on. So do you think this is a positive or negative development? Now, the prompt is appropriately and sufficiently covered. That's a band 8. If you're aiming for a 7, you should always look ahead to an 8, because then you'll be better prepared. So the main parts for a band 7 says main parts of the prompt are appropriately addressed. So the difference between the 7 and the 8 goes, the 7 is the main parts are appropriately, and 8 sufficiently, appropriately and sufficiently. So you add. You still have to choose one, certainly, because of the or. Great, that's it. Okay, so Inara, that's a very good point. And what if we have equal options, equal opinions for both? So when you're writing for IELTS, you can't always write from your heart. You have to fulfill the band descriptors. So even though you may have, this equal opinions, for the essay, you're going to choose one and you're going to stick to that one, okay? You have to remember that. You're writing for IELTS, an examiner is going to read, and the examiner is going to correct your writing based on the band descriptors. So sometimes you'll just have to, adjust and really remember that you're writing for IELTS, okay? Band 6 now, the main parts of the prompt are addressed, though some may be fully or not. In this case, let's suppose, if we go back to the prompt, let's suppose we don't talk about technology. We only talk about the positive or the negative aspects of companies and employees, and we miss out in technology. That would be an incomplete. So that would be band 6, okay? So remembering that. Now the issue of the position, the writer's position, this was a change. So this is one of the major changes in the band descriptors. Previously, it says a clear and strong position throughout the response. That was the previous band descriptor. Now it says a clear and developed position is presented. So if we think of what it means developed, that means that you discuss it, you present the points, your points of view as a writer. And obviously, you're not going to restrict it to only the introduction, because if you're going to develop your position, you're going to show that throughout the response. So it doesn't say throughout anymore, but now it says developed. And also, you have to bring in a little bit more of that, personal punch into it. So it has changed the word throughout to developed, sufficiently and appropriately. So sufficiently and appropriately, that means that when something is sufficient, that it's enough, it covers, and appropriately, with all covering appropriately in the sense that you haven't missed out the main points. So that's appropriate. Appropriate means that all the main points in the essay prompt, they have been covered, okay? Overgeneralize. That's a very good question. To overgeneralize is when in particular, your examples, you go with that thing. According to a research, this and this. No, so according to a research developed with high school children ages between 6 and 10 in Montreal, Canada. So then you have, you don't overgeneralize. You bring in details that correspond, the details, they support and they correspond your point. So in order for you to get good scores, you need to present, support, and extend your ideas. That is crucial in IELTS. And of course, the paragraph structures that we propose at E2, they guarantee that you include this content that you will present, support, and extend. Yes, so appropriately is that they expect the question to be explained, answered. Yeah, that you cover the question, that you analyze, identify the main points in the question, and that you address these points in your answer. Can you not just write research has shown? Selena, I don't recommend that. That would be overgeneralized, okay? Precision in supporting ideas, Fennick, that's it. Precision means detailed. And that is in particular the details that are related to the point. So if we want to make a point here that it's beneficial for employees to have the opportunity to work from home, we need to extend that, asking ourselves why, how, okay? Can you write some people are? Okay, that's a very interesting point here. People, the word people, it is overgeneralized to a certain extent because most of the time, these people, they're someone, they're consumers, they're citizens, they're students. So whenever you're going to use the word people, reconsider it and see who are these people. By just identifying people, you're not overgeneralizing it. Crap, lack of focus, that could be it. Okay, citations are important. Marta goes like this. You can lie, okay? You can make up data, you can lie. There isn't a lie detector to know that you're lying, as long as it's reasonable. Whatever you're going to use to support as an example, you can make it up, but it has to be reasonable, okay? Okay, so this is an issue. What if I don't have much information about the topic? So if it's a speaking test, you can kind of tackle and bring in, well, I'm not very familiar with this topic. If I were to be, I would have to take a course or to attend a special course. So in speaking, you could tackle it. In writing, I still haven't found the magic formula for that one. So if you're not very familiar with the topic, you're going to struggle. And I would love to have a great answer for that, but we don't have it yet, okay? Ozazi, it's great to have you here. I saw your message and I will get to it, okay? So what structure would you recommend for each type of essay question? Andrea, there isn't a structure for each one. There are two options in terms of structure, the PEAL, which is the single idea, and the UPEP, which is the double idea. And you will choose either one according to the question prompt, okay? So there are around 7 different question prompts in essays. And according to the question prompt, you will choose the essay structure, the paragraph structure that best adapts to answer that question and at the same time cover all of the elements. So we're going to compare the two introductions here. Let's work together. So once again, the prompt is due to advancements in technology. We already identified that the advancements in technology has to be covered. Many companies now offer employees the option to do their jobs from home. Do you think this is a positive or negative development? So recent advancements in technology have changed the way people work. Therefore, many firms now let their employees work from home. In this essay, I will discuss whether working from home is a positive or negative development for employees. So here in this case, recent advancements in technology, it's been mentioned, but superficially, right? And that it has changed the way people work, employees work instead of people, right? That would be the first step. Now, the introduction has not mentioned whether the advancements are positive or negative for employees or employers. So that's the connection. So the advancements, are they positive? Are they negative for the employees and employers? The position is not clear. That's it, Min. It's great. I love it when you guys send in your comments here. So YouTube participants, it's great to have you here. And Charlie is keeping an eye out. It's taking care of you guys, YouTube participants. And it says, one of the questions is, can I put my opinion in introduction of problem solution essay if I'm not asked for my opinion? That's a great question. So in a problem solution essay is not asking if you agree or not with the problem, but it's asking you to present what you believe are the problems and possible solutions. So then you have a position. You don't have an opinion about the problem that is asked. So let's suppose the problem is that cyclists using the same lanes as cars is a problem in traffic. What problems can arise and what are the possible measures for this issue? So they're not asking you if you agree, yes, cars and bicycles in the same lane are a problem. You don't have to agree or disagree with the prompt or with the issue, but you have to present what problems will arise when cars and bicycles use the same lanes. So for instance, slower traffic because the bicycles, they ride slower than a car. What is a possible solution? Okay, a bicycle lane. So when you're going to make your introduction, you're going to say that you will outline what you believe are the problems and the possible measures that can be taken to solve these problems. So it's not really an opinion, but it's a position, because the opinion would be, yes, definitely, cars and bicycles in the same lane causes, traffic problems. That's not it. It's the problems and the possible solutions that may, come about when the cars and bicycles are in the same lane. I hope it's clear. Yes. If not, send it back in and I'll try to explain it even more. So, Poja, is it a band booster giving the main point in introduction? I believe that when you ask that question, you want to ask if it's bringing in your position, your answer, and the points that you're going to address and develop. To a certain extent, yes, but you have to be careful also not to be redundant. Many times when you bring in a lot of information in the introduction, you may sound redundant as you develop it. In the introduction, Candice, no, the example does not go in the introduction. Oh, opinion, yes, the opinion is in the introduction, definitely. Okay, so here we go. So moving forward, it says here. So to get a band 7 for task response, remember, we're breaking it down, separating the 4 criterion, each criterion. A clear and developed position needs to be presented. So you need to present your position or opinion. Once again, the essay prompt is you will decide if you're going to write a position or opinion according to the essay prompt. In this case, do you think this is a positive or negative? Definitely, this is opinion. So you need the main parts of the prompt are appropriately addressed. So that means you cover it. That's a 7. For you to aim for an 8, that means it's going to be sufficient. It's going to really expand. And in the case here, it would expand in technology. What types of technology? So that would be a more expanded answer, and that would be an 8. Okay. So now we're going to look at a high scoring one. So as a result of recent developments in communication and collaboration tools, such as instant messaging, video conferencing, and cloud-based file storage, now you see, so this is sufficient and complete, addressing the issue of technology because it's part of the prompt. Most office jobs can now be done from anywhere. So it's not people, office jobs. This has prompted many employers to allow their staff, so staff, not people, once again, to work remotely. So remotely in the sense that from home, from anywhere. In my opinion, this is a positive development for both parties. So it's nice and clear here, the opinion. So it gives examples of technology. So it's not examples to the answer of why it's positive or negative, but addressing already and showing the examiner that you, the writer, you're aware that technology is part of the answer. And of course, your position, if it's positive or negative, right away from the beginning. Now, here, some students, they feel that they should include in the introduction paragraph, what are the positive aspects? And this is where you may sound redundant if you include the positive is and what you're going to develop in your body paragraphs. Okay, so let's suppose you were to develop that it's positive for the employees because they save time commuting, and for the employers, they save expenses in office space. So if you mention this already in the introduction, it may sound redundant, and it's really not expected that you mention this in the introduction. Okay, so this essay, it's definitely aiming for an 8, I would say. 7 certainly, but if the essay continues to be developed with this, including the information as the introduction has, you're aiming for an 8 now. So body paragraph 1, this is a medium score. And I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you feel, what do you identify as a medium scoring in this paragraph? So first, working at home can save time for employees. Many people complain that they have to spend a lot of time traveling to and from the office every day. Perhaps this class is a game changer. Lovely. That's exactly what we intended. Right, Charlie, when we were planning this class? That's it. Okay, there you go. So students are coming in. First, mechanical marker. The vocabulary, right, that is used, Marta, great. So Alex, I see addressing from the positive decision on coverage is the key to higher band. That's it. Definitely. Only simple sentences, basically. Excellent. You guys are right on track. Okay, so yes, not enough development and support for idea. So it's like, okay, working at home can save time for employees. Based on what? Coming from where, right? Excellent. Yes, the verb tense is temi, excellent. So sequence of ideas is not logical. So it goes like this: save time. Many people complain they spend time. They prefer to stay home rather than traveling to work. Staff at home, they save time. And it's also repetitive, isn't it? Excellent, Inara. No technology is not mentioned here. Excellent. Okay, you guys are keeping me, the chat box is great. Here we go. You guys in YouTube, don't worry. Charlie, he's got you covered. There's one more question coming in from YouTube. Is it wrong to write both positives and negatives? In this case, yes, because you have the keyword or. So that's why it's important to decide. Or is clear, or one or the other, right? It's a word that is not, it does not cast any doubt when we say or. You have to choose. Okay, I love the comments. Too much repetition, no referencing exactly, and get excellent. Simple English, it doesn't show sentence variety. Wonderful. Okay, you guys are right on track. Okay, mechanical or incorrect use of linking words. You guys found it. So let's correct this first line. When it says first, working at home can save time for employees. One important consideration is that working from home can save time for employees. So instead of going first. Now, what's kind of like unfair is that when you study English, general English, that's exactly what we teach you. Use these, keywords to organize firstly, secondly, moreover, furthermore. However, IELTS will rate that as an inappropriate usage of linking words. So that's how IELTS will rate it. So how could we change? So Alina, if you look at the corrected first lines, instead of saying first, we would go one important consideration. Zeal to embark upon. No, So that's another important thing. I know that you guys would like to elaborate and bring in, writing to impress the examiner, and that's your job for sure. But at the same time, you have to use language that is appropriate in terms of academic. Even if you're taking the general test, essay writing is academic writing, okay? No, it's not good to use firstly and secondly, okay? Because as I said, these are considered the standard form of organizing a paragraph. And IELTS will call it mechanical, standard mechanical, okay? So it's an interpretation, it's a linguistic interpretation here. Or you can also say a major benefit. So instead of saying first, a major benefit, so that's excellent. Or you can start with a participle. Working from home enables employees to save time, which is one clear advantage of this development. So kind of like, a sentence inversion here. So instead of saying, oh, this is an advantage because of this, no, this leads to this. So that's excellent too. So here are some ways that you can go with one important. So it's kind of like you're paraphrasing the idea first. When we say first, that means, okay, this is the top, point. This is the most important point, but that's the idea first. So it's a major benefit, or beginning sentences with participles. Also, lack of development and support for idea. Definitely. It's lacking here because so repetitive, right? Nora, no, you shouldn't use firstly and secondly, okay? Participle clauses. That is definitely, so Waid, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. A participle clause is also a connecting clause. So participles in English, they are used as connectors. And in particular, when you see that you're repeating which many times, which is kind of normal sometimes, try to see if you can't, fit in a participle instead of which. So Sandra, there isn't really a list of what linking words you can use, but avoid the mechanical ones and always try to paraphrase. So we suggested a few here. And if you attend our classes, you will see that every class that we deal with writing, this is one of the points that we work on, how to avoid mechanical markers. So the live classes that we work on here at E2, there's always, that is one element that is covered. WAD. Okay, got that, WAD. Now I got it. Furthermore and moreover, they are also mechanical, okay? Now, does this paragraph fit the Peel method? Well, we should be using Peel because of the question prompt. Is it a positive or a negative? So you're going to choose positive or negative. Let's go for positive, okay? So positive. That means you have to write 2 body paragraphs supporting positive. If you opt for a double idea paragraph, you're going to have to generate 4 ideas. And sometimes generating ideas is just as hard as writing. So in this case, you should go for Peel because it is sufficient to cover the essay prompt. If you opt for UPEP, you can. It's not wrong, but to develop it, it may be harder in terms of generating ideas and developing those ideas, okay? So let's take a look. Peel, what is Peel exactly? If you're not familiar with the Peel structure, so those attending the YouTube channel and even some of you here in Zoom with me, I'm going to take a few seconds just to show you. I won't have time to explain exactly what it is, but I can definitely show you our platform. And I love this platform. In fact, it has so much information and material that will help you be better prepared. So in our writing, so in course materials, reading, listening, writing task 1, task 2, the vocabulary tab, this is, it enriches and it guides you to expand vocabulary, because expanding vocabulary can't be at random. It has to be organized as well. Learning is organized. It's a process. So in task 2, writing task 2, you have your writing body paragraphs. And this is where it's all going to be explained. We're going to break it down. So we're going to uncover the mystery of the difference of single and double idea paragraphs, and where and how. Not only will you learn what is a single and a double idea paragraph, you will also learn how to develop and how to choose the single and double idea paragraph. It's filled with material, right, Prab? I know. So this is one of the points, just one highlight in the platform. There's so much more. And I'm a great enthusiast. I'm an enthusiast of the platform, not only because I work at E2, of course, but the fact that it has a lot of developed material that really, includes the skills that you need to write, to do reading, to do listening. So it helps you build the skills that you need to really perform at your best. Because IELTS is not only about language. Language is important for sure, but what language, what skills in language, what content in language do you need? And that's how the platform guides you, okay? So let me get back here. So Andrea, it's great to have you here, Andrea. I can see that you're participating a lot. I will have my exam in the next week, and I think I'm not ready. Okay, I think that I'm ready, but I'm too nervous. Okay, that is definitely, so common to be nervous. Test taking is nerve-wracking, I would say, definitely. But what you should do is take our mock test, because the mock test, even if you don't achieve the scores that you would like in the mock test, trust me, the information that you get and the feedback that you get will definitely guide you to what you should do and what you should avoid. So the mock test is the first, recommendation that I have is for you to take the mock test. You'll have the opportunity to have a speaking mock with the teacher. You'll sit down with the teacher. The teacher will ask you and will give you detailed feedback. So let's suppose you're not confident, maybe enough. You feel that you're ready, but you're not sure. The mock test is going to be, even if you don't achieve the score that you're aiming for in the mock test, you will understand why. And just by understanding why, we learn from mistakes. Victoria, in most packages in E2, the Express, I think not, but the mock test is included in the package, okay? So Andrea, at the end of the class, have you already taken your mock test? If not, we can talk and we can schedule the speaking mock, okay? So, oh yes, Abil, you are participating in all the live classes. I always see you there. How to improve writing from 6 in last minute. So this class is just perfect for you. What to avoid, okay? So the feel is first point. You make your point. That means you present. So remember that we're aiming for present, support, and extend. So first you go with the point. So first, working at home can save time. So the idea that's going to be developed, the point sentence is the topic sentence. It informs what the paragraph will develop and discuss. So excellent. The point is that working from home, you can save time. So that's the major. Now, we have to be careful here because some students would say, oh, save time and money. That's the mistake, because time and money, it's not 1 point, it's 2 points. That would then be a double idea paragraph, okay? So many people complain, now you're going to explain. So after the point, okay, working from home can save time. Well, why? So, and then it says, many people complain that they have to spend a lot of time traveling to the office. So it's explaining, but it's not well developed, the answer, the support sentence. The explained sentence is your support sentence. Why do employees save time working from home? Well, because they don't have to face commuting every day and time, so on. The example. Now, I recommend that you don't skip any of the elements of the paragraph structure. The reason is that when you skip, it's an opportunity that you miss of extending your answer or supporting. The example is a support. The effect, this makes life better for employees. Okay, but how? So what you really want to say is, what is the impact of this? Or you can also, there's a different path, if not. So if employees were not given the opportunity of working from home, then you present the impact, the result. And the link sentence that you can link backwards or forwards is also a mechanical marker. No, not necessarily Prab, in particular if it's fit in the middle of the sentence, okay? No, also is not. Spelling, Selena, in our E2 platform, there are the 7 golden rules for spelling. There aren't many rules for spelling in English, but the 7 golden rules are there. That's something that I love about the platform, the study materials, it's there. And of course, practice. Unfortunately, practice. And many times a spelling mistake, it's also a typo error. That's another issue that for those of you taking. Sorry, Latifa, can you send in the question again? The chat box is rolling quite quickly, but certainly. So, Suicha, we've already discussed mechanical marker. Later on, please watch the class again that we've already discussed that. I would love to be able to explain again, but the clock is ticking and we're going to move on. And of course, it's already here in this class and you can watch it again. Okay, but working from home has less impact on genuine connection between teams. Okay, there you go, Alex. So now you're explaining it, but it's not connected to the idea of saving time. So you see what Alex just said. He's saying, but working from home has less connection. You connect less. But this paragraph begins by saying that you save time. So you can't use an example that is not connected. Well, you can, but then it's wrong, right? Your example has to be connected and refer back to the concept of saving time, okay? So Latifa, can we use idiom in writing IELTS Task 1 or 2? For instance, it is an irrefutable fact that technology has grown by leaps and bounds over the last decades. Okay, idioms, I would be careful. Collocations, definitely. But idioms, they can be slightly informal. If you're writing general task 1 and you're writing an informal letter, definitely put in your idioms. However, for task 2, I would be careful, definitely. Okay. For task 2, focus mostly on collocations and using appropriate, sentence structure. It's going to sound more formal, but that's the intention. It's an essay. Okay. Michelle, should I study all 4 test sections at the same time? Definitely. One skill supports the other. Okay, so for instance, we're writing this essay. We're using structure, vocabulary, all of this. It was input from reading, let's suppose. When you read, nobody's really telling you this. It's a neurolinguistic process, but you're reviewing structure, sentence structure, you're reviewing vocabulary, learning new vocabulary. So that's why integrating skills, studying skills together, one skill will support the other, okay? And on test day, it's all together, right? Okay, Priyanka, can we write, in my opinion, it's a negative effect and explain and still get good marks? Definitely. Okay, that's a good question. It doesn't matter which side you choose, positive or negative, as long as you develop it appropriately. Okay, no, either way, your answer will not be scored on your opinion. It will be scored on your writing. Latifa, I would not recommend using idioms in task 2 because idiomatic expressions, they are by nature informal. Collocations, no. Collocations, they are, appropriate standard language. Okay. So here we go. So once again, this shows that working from home, so this is the link. Now, if you read this link sentence, would you say it's backward or forward? This shows that working from home is a positive development for employees. Would this be a link backwards or would it be a link forward? There you go. Now, interestingly, this type of essay in particular, why this type of essay? You have two paragraphs, two body paragraphs that will discuss the same point, not the same idea, the same point. Either both paragraphs will be positive or both paragraphs will be negative. You can omit the link sentence between body 1 and body 2 because it will avoid being repetitive sometimes, redundant. So this is one of the cases where you can omit, principally if you're lacking, vocabulary variety in particular. So when you have an essay that the two body paragraphs are going to deal with the same point, not the same idea, but the same point, the link sentence between paragraph 1 and 2, it can be omitted, okay? Definitely, you guys did great. Of course, and for those of you who are not sure what's a backward link, the students are participating here in the chat box. You guys are great. You're explaining it very well. What is a back? So Timmy says, refer back to your position. That's it, to the position in the body paragraph. It's not extending. So the backward link is when you go back. So that's also explained in our course materials. Backward link, forward link, it's all there. Okay. Can this essay be 5 paragraphs in total? That is introduction, positive, 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 then conclusion. It can. You shouldn't, though. Remember, you have 40 minutes. Most likely, unless you're an exceptional typer, you type quickly, and your command of language is advanced, which can, for many students, have advanced command of language. 5 paragraphs, you will not have time to proofread. So let's consider 5 paragraphs without proofreading, likely to have mistakes. 4 paragraphs that you had time to proofread, less mistakes. You will get better scores, most likely, because mistakes, they generate penalties, and penalties reduce your scores, okay? So do we have to mention technology advancements? If possible, you should include, because it is part of the prompt. So let's look at a high score here. So one clear benefit of allowing employees to work from home is that it helps them achieve a more favorable work-life balance, okay? So definitely here. When employees spend the working day at home, they not only save time by eliminating the commute, but can also attend the household tasks such as laundry or grocery shopping during their breaks. Excellent. So you can see here that what are the positive features here? Let's take a look. What would you identify? Now I can see that many of you are very familiar with, with IELTS. What do you identify here as positives? Yes, nice collocations, right? Definitely. That's one positive point. The example is nice and it's extended, right? Detailed. Engaging in hobbies. So look at the collocations here. There you go. You guys are right on task. Now, what about sentence variety? Can you see the sentence variety here? It's the Peel method, definitely, and very well developed here. Conditionals, lovely. Oh my God, I'm looking at the clock ticking. Ideas are well extended and supported. Information and ideas are logically sequenced. So first, the employee can achieve work-life balance. And then it's going to explain why. Why can he achieve a favorable work-life balance? And then spending time alone, eliminating commute. Remember, saving time. And then extending, what does he do with the time that he saves? What can he do? What is the benefit of saving this time? So you see how one sentence is connected to the other. This is planning. Okay, comparing now, body paragraph 1 and 2. We can clearly see not only in terms of word quantity, of course, which now is not anymore an issue. So if you don't write, let's suppose 250 words, you won't lose points. Of course, if you write 40, that's going to be an issue. But you don't have anymore the word count as a must, okay, in the new band descriptors. So I would take a picture here of this comparison of medium and high scoring, and after class, sit down and analyze it in detail. Here we go, save time. So it's very straightforward, very basic. It's a more favorable life balance, which of course is connected to saving time. So you can see the difference right here in the topic sentence, how the point is being presented, the idea is being presented with richer vocabulary, and it's more meaningful. Now, wide, this is a very interesting point. Wide, flexibility of vocabulary, range of vocabulary. So when it says wide resource, fluent and flexibly uses vocabulary. When it says vocabulary variety and flexibility, for instance, when you use nouns and transform to verbs, verbs to adjectives, that is definitely vocabulary flexibility. Using words with prefixes and suffixes, this is upgraded in IELTS. So this type of word, this comes from linguistic studies. Words with prefixes and suffixes, they are words that they are elaborated. They put together elements. So they take the root word, they put together a suffix, a prefix, and that's why it's considered upscale vocabulary. So words with prefixes and suffixes, it's a linguistic explanation that when you take a root word and you add components, prefixes and suffixes, this is a sophisticated word. Okay, sophisticated, I'm putting that in just so that you guys can really understand the meaning of upscale vocabulary. Well, it's included, Selena, technology is included in the introduction to show the examiner that you are aware that technology is part of the discussion, but not to the extent where the predominant discussion is if it's a positive or negative, working from home, is this positive or negative? Of course, it is due to technology. So you show this in the introduction, okay? Okay, so then we have here, moving on. Skillful use of uncommon and idiomatic terms. So idiomatic terms in the sense of collocations, meaningful pursuit, quality time. So you can say that this is not an idiomatic expression, okay? Quality time, it's a collocation. Catching up on chores. This is a phrasal verb, which is well applied, okay? Oh yes, the verb get. That's another verb that I encourage you not to use, because there's a saying in English that when you don't know what verb to use, just, fit in get. Get will fit in somehow. It has more than 100, it has over 100 meanings to it. So that's another tip. There are so many secrets that I'd love to share here with you guys, but I've got to rush now. So the second idea is better developed than the first body, but the paragraph still doesn't explain how working from home benefits the employee or the employer. So we go second, staff can usually work more effectively at home. This is because they can concentrate on their work more easily. So it's all very, superficial. For example, mechanical marker right at the beginning of the sentence. In order to avoid this, shift it to the middle. Their home, for example, is probably quieter than their office, okay? So linking is mechanical. Charlie, can you just take a look? There's a comment here from Ismaili about the recorded class, okay? It just came in the Zoom, okay? Ismaili, Charlie is going to take care of your question, okay? So grammatical range in this sentence, it definitely lacks grammatical range. Therefore, repeated. So how could you improve the mechanical linking? Here we go. Definitely pronouns also. They are very helpful. So repetition of keywords, that's another problem here. It shows a restricted range of vocabulary. Okay. It's like I'm trying to, at the same time, read the chat box and look at the slide, look at the slides. So in order for you to improve this, things, something, this is total lack of precision. We call these empty words, like think. What is a thing? Okay. And so a thing is a whatever. So avoid this also because it lacks precision. Now, this is a high scoring one. Remote work has also been found to increase productivity. So now, has also been found. Why also? It's the second body paragraph. You're adding a second idea. Instead of going secondly, look at the also, prep, fit in the middle of the sentence. It's not mechanical then. Okay. And then staff working from home are often more focused since they experience fewer distractions compared to a traditional office setting. Especially those open, nowadays it's very popular to have that open design offices, right? So here, since using a nice complex sentence, conditional. Look at, for example, in the middle of the sentence, for example, the use of pronouns, diminishing ing participle as a connector here. Lovely. Okay. So clear progression of ideas, the paragraph flows, linking words have only been used where needed, no overuse. Therefore, furthermore, no need for so much. A wide range of grammar structures, passive, conditional, complex, lovely. Comparing medium score to high score. Oh, God, I have to rush here. Hold on. Take a picture and analyze this. I'm sure that at home, when you take the time to analyze, you will definitely find the difference between the medium and the high scoring one. The prompt is appropriate and sufficiently addressed. So by the time that the examiner reaches the end of your essay, the answer to the question is there. That is your ultimate goal, to be sure that when the examiner finishes reading your essay, the answer is there to the question in the prompt. Okay? I love this checklist. If you don't have it, take a picture. It is very helpful and useful. What is this checklist? It's based on the band descriptors. So it's a summary of the band descriptors. And in this checklist are all the elements that you should include in your writing to guarantee a higher score. So if you're getting started or if you've been writing for a while, always have this at hand. And once you finish your writing, go back and check, use that as a checklist. Yes, okay, I answered. Presents a clear and developed position, wide range of vocabulary. If not, since you're studying, that's the time. Once you identify your slips and you can, using the checklist, go back and rewrite the essay, trying to fix those. Okay, so this is a great opportunity for me to see you guys in other classes and discuss, more writing strategies, speaking, reading, and listening. So May Madness, 20% off, and you still get, this is the plus. And I even asked Charlie, is it true? Do they get a free assessment bundle? Because this is the big plus as well. The assessments, they are so valuable. Zeal, mind-blowing class. Thank you so much. I had a great time, really a great time. And you guys, your participation was definitely the highlight of the class. Keeping, the chat box rolling with very relevant questions and relevant participation. Thank you so much. It was such a great opportunity. I know that probably you have many more questions. I wish next time, Charlie, maybe we'll think of a longer class, maybe, extended. But I'm jumping onto a reading class tomorrow, IELTS academic writing, and Saturday, it's the big master class. I love the Saturday class. It's 1 hour and a half dealing with task 2. I hope to see you there. Really, it's the moment that I can give immediate feedback to students. That's what I love about the writing classes, the immediate feedback. Hope to see you there. Have a lovely day or evening, depending where you are. And as I said, I'm jumping on to the reading class now. Thank you so much. And the emojis, they're lovely on the screen. Thank you, guys. See you. We will be back with more classes, live streaming, and of course, our classes live in the E2 platform. Take care now. Bye.